Serena sat at the polished oak dining table, pencils neatly aligned, notebook open, and laptop humming softly. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the faint scent of her mother's cookies cooling on the counter. A perfect study environment. At least, that's what her parents thought. Perfect. Everything screams, I have my life together. If only they knew the chaos in my brain. Her little brother, Max, bounced onto the chair beside her, peering over her shoulder. Wow, Serena! You're really studying hard again. She murmured, scribbling an equation she didn't understand but pretending otherwise. I have no idea what this equation means. I literally have no clue if X is a number, a feeling, or a sandwich ingredient. Her mother's voice echoed from the kitchen. Serena, don't forget the biology questions. You're answering Chapter 7, right? Biology. Oh yes. The subject I excel in through sheer panic and memorization alone. Serena nodded politely, carefully adjusting her glasses like a model student. If my family sees even a flicker of doubt on my face, it's over. I'm exposed. They'll find out I only skimmed the textbook while scrolling memes. She picked up her pen, squinting at the page. Okay, let's see. Photosynthesis, the sun, plants, water, chlorophyll. Why does this sound like a recipe for a disaster dinner? And why did I forget the last 3 chapters? Was I too busy trying to figure out how to survive life? Her father peeked in, smiling. Serena, don't forget to explain your reasoning. We love seeing how you think. Serena forced a small grin. Of course, Dad. Just making sure I understand the steps. Steps? I don't even know what the stairs look like in this subject. Maybe I should just invent a theory called winging it and call it genius. Max giggled. You're weird, Serena. Thanks, she said softly, scratching a line through an equation she didn't understand. Weird? Try, terrified I'll implode in front of my perfect family. That's the accurate diagnosis. Her mother returned with a tray of snacks, setting it neatly beside her. Here, a little fuel for your brain. Serena nodded, reaching for a cookie, but her thoughts betrayed her once more. Fuel for the brain? More like a bribe to keep the illusion alive. Her notebook blurred before her eyes as another equation stared back, mocking her. She scribbled furiously, hoping the mess looked intentional. Dear Algebra, I hate you. Love me. P.S. Can someone please explain why letters are in math? Are we solving for numbers or playing Wheel of Fortune? Suddenly, her parents froze. Their faces were frozen? Too shocked to move? Oh no. Did they hear that? Yes, her father said slowly. We just heard you muttering something. Serena's eyes widened. I wasn't muttering. Lie fast. Pretend you're meditating on the meaning of life. Her mother raised an eyebrow. About algebra? Yes, Serena stammered, trying to sound serene. Deep, philosophical reflections. Max snickered uncontrollably. She said she has no idea what the equation means. Serena's perfect façade cracked. She threw her pen down dramatically. Fine. I don't know. I have no idea. The room went silent for a moment. Then laughter. Her father chuckled. So that's the truth behind our perfect student. Her mother shook her head, smiling but exasperated. Serena, why didn't you say anything? Because I wanted everyone to continue thinking I was a genius. Is that a crime? Max poked her side. Does this mean you're actually like us? Human. Yes. Serena gasped, throwing her hands in the air. I'm human. I get confused. I panic. I eat cookies instead of solving equations sometimes. The family laughed together, and for the first time, Serena felt a tiny weight lift off her shoulders. Maybe it's okay to be honest. Maybe they'll still love me, even if I fail algebra. And though her notebook remained full of messy scribbles and half-solved problems, her heart felt lighter than it had in weeks. The house was unusually quiet after Serena's dramatic confession. Her parents sat at the dining table, arms crossed, trying to process the revelation that their perfect student had been faking it for months, or possibly years. Max, however, was bouncing with barely contained excitement. I did it! I exposed her! he thought gleefully, though he tried to look innocent. Serena, still clutching her notebook, slumped into a chair. "I can explain," she mumbled. "It's not like I planned to deceive anyone. It just happened." Her father leaned back, rubbing his chin. "Serena, you're telling us you've been pretending to understand everything in school?" "Yes," she admitted, her voice a mix of frustration and relief. "I memorized formulas, nodded along in class, smiled during presentations, and panicked silently when I had no clue what was going on." "Panicked silently? Who am I kidding? My panic has been audible." Her mother raised an eyebrow. "And all this time, we thought you were the top of your class." "I am top of my class, technically," Serena said quickly. "I just use unconventional methods." "By unconventional, I mean I pray and hope my brain magically absorbs knowledge." Max giggled again. "So, you're not a genius? You're like me." "Exactly," Serena groaned. "I'm just human." "Shocked yet?" Her father shook his head, trying to suppress laughter. "You've got a lot of nerve, Serena. But I have to admit, I'm impressed. You maintained the act for so long." "Impressed?" "I was one quiz away from a full-blown meltdown." Her mother leaned forward. "But why hide it? Why not ask for help?" Serena flopped onto the sofa dramatically. "Because I was scared. Scared you'd think I'm stupid. Scared I'd disappoint everyone. And apparently, scared my thoughts would escape my brain at the worst possible times." "Worst possible?" "They already did, Mom. We're past that point." Max leaned over, whispering conspiratorially. "I bet the teachers are gonna freak out if they hear this." Serena groaned. "Don't remind me." Her mother sighed, trying to balance frustration and amusement. "Well, we're not mad exactly. More concerned and curious. What do you actually know, and what's just memorized chaos?" Memorized chaos. I should trademark that phrase. Serena stood, pacing. "Honestly, some days I know nothing. Other days I just guess really well." Her father chuckled, shaking his head. "You've got guts, I'll give you that. But this also means you've been carrying this alone for a long time. Alone and panicking, and only Max knows half of it." Her mother reached out, placing a hand on Serena's shoulder. "Well, from now on, we'll figure it out together. No more pretending. We'll help you." Serena blinked, unsure if relief or embarrassment was stronger. "You really mean that?" "Yes," her father said firmly. "We love you, not your grades. You don't have to fake it for us." "Wait, are they serious? Are they really letting me be me?" Max jumped up. "Does this mean you can't use fancy math words to confuse me anymore?" "Oh no. My humiliation continues." Serena groaned, covering her face. "I suppose honesty comes with a price." But even as her family teased her relentlessly for the next hour, Serena felt a strange sense of liberation. Maybe pretending isn't worth it. Maybe it's time I learned how to actually understand, and admit when I don't. And for the first time, she realized that being herself, even flawed, imperfect and panicking, was far more satisfying than being the flawless student everyone expected her to be. The next morning, Serena sat at her desk in Mrs. Langley's classroom, notebook open, pencil sharpened, and a fresh sense of dread in her stomach. Today's challenge? Algebra, the subject she had previously faked understanding with alarming finesse. "All right, brain. You have one chance to cooperate." And by cooperate, I mean stop screaming internally every time you see X and Y together like a suspicious couple plotting against me. Mrs. Langley, the kind but intimidating math teacher, clapped her hands. "Class, today we'll discuss quadratic equations. And I want you all to participate." Serena's throat tightened. She raised her hand with practiced poise. Yes, Mrs. Langley? Don't blow it. Don't blow it. Don't. Oh no, she's looking directly at me. Can someone explain why the discriminate is important?" Mrs. Langley asked. Serena froze. The discriminate? She had vaguely memorized the formula for the quadratic equation, but understanding it? That was a distant dream. "I have no idea. Zero clue. Maybe it's a new type of math soup." Before she could react, her inner voice betrayed her again. Loud, clear, and apparently audible to the class, thanks to the whispered thoughts curse that had plagued her at home. I have no idea what the discriminate means. Is this math or some kind of torture ritual? Gasps filled the classroom. Heads turned. Mrs. Langley blinked, jaw slack. Serena? She asked cautiously. Did you just speak? Serena's face turned crimson. I was clarifying. Clarifying? Clarifying what? That I'm panicking? That I'm failing in front of everyone. Max, who had somehow wandered into the classroom to deliver a forgotten notebook, snickered in the back. Serena groaned. Max, I can't believe you're here. Mrs. Langley coughed, trying to regain composure. Well, honesty is a virtue, I suppose. But maybe next time, you can think instead of broadcasting your panic. Yes, please, universe. Let's just go back to the boring silent panic. Trying to salvage the situation, Serena forced a small smile. Right. Of course. The discriminate is, very discriminating. Why did I say that? Did that even make sense? The class erupted into laughter, not cruelly, but with amused surprise. Even Mrs. Langley shook her head, a smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. Close enough, Serena. Let's move on. Close enough. That's my new life motto. By lunch, word had spread through the school. Whispers followed her in the hallways. Serena doesn't understand algebra. Really? Her friends, who had always admired her perfection, stared at her in disbelief. Wait, you mean you don't just instantly know all the answers? One of them asked. Serena rolled her eyes, exasperated. No. Shocking, I know. Actually have to think and panic and fail sometimes. Think? Fail? How did I survive this long? Her friend laughed. Honestly, I kind of like this side of you. Way more relatable. Serena smiled faintly, though her stomach twisted nervously. Relatable? Yes, but also publicly humiliated. Fun times. Back in her bedroom that evening, Serena reviewed her notes, trying to actually understand what she had been faking all year. If I survive this algebra nightmare, I might just survive life. She scribbled formulas repeatedly, mumbling under her breath. X equals something. Y equals panic. Maybe that works. Even as she struggled, a small spark of determination flickered inside her. Maybe it's time to stop pretending and start learning. Honestly. And though the path ahead was filled with confusion, awkwardness, and inevitable embarrassment, Serena realized one thing. The truth, messy and chaotic as it was, felt oddly freeing. The weekend brought no relief for Serena. If anything, her home life had become a minefield of snickers, whispers, and strategically placed reminders of her academic incompetence. Max, emboldened by the classroom incident, had declared himself the official truth ambassador of the household. He had been waiting all week for the perfect moment to exploit it. Today's the day I make her life interesting, he thought, grinning mischievously. Serena was in the kitchen, attempting to study geometry while her younger sister, Lily, hovered nearby, coloring in a notebook. Hey, Serena, Lily said innocently. Can you help me with fractions? Serena took a deep breath. Of course, sweetie. What's the problem? Hopefully she doesn't notice that I have no idea what I'm doing either. Lily held up her paper. If I have 3 chocolate bars and I eat, 2, how much is left? Serena stammered, mentally calculating. 1 bar. Yes. You still know some basics. Don't panic. Max appeared suddenly, leaning against the counter. Wow, you got that one right. Maybe there's hope for you yet. Serena shot him a glare. Max, not helping. Not helping? I'm trying to educate the public on the truth. Max ignored her, pulling out her algebra homework from the table. Oh, look. This is the equation you couldn't solve in class. Mind if I share it with Mom and Dad? Serena lunged for the paper. No. That's private. Private? You mean the public embarrassment file? But Max had already darted down the hallway, waving the homework like a flag of victory. I swear if they start laughing at me again, I might combust. A few minutes later, their parents appeared in the kitchen, Max triumphantly holding up Serena's homework. "Serena," her father said, trying not to smile, "we've seen this equation. Can you explain it to us?" Serena froze. Yes. I mean, I'll try. Try. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. She fumbled through the steps, muttering incomprehensibly, trying to make it sound intelligent. Meanwhile, Lily whispered, "You're making it worse." Max whispered back, "You can't blame me for being honest." By the time she reached the final line, her parents exchanged amused glances. "Well," her mother said, "that was creative." Creative? That's one word for total chaos disguised as math. Serena buried her face in her hands. "I'm so doomed." Her father chuckled. "You're not doomed. Just human. And maybe a little dramatic." Max smirked. Human, dramatic. Same thing as pretending to be a genius. Okay, now I officially hate them all, Serena thought, though she couldn't stop herself from laughing. Lily grinned. "Honestly, I think it's fun. I like knowing you're not perfect all the time." Serena peeked up at her little sister, blinking. "You actually like it? Someone in this family actually thinks my failure is adorable. I kind of like that." "Yes," Lily said firmly. "Being smart is fine, but being honest is way cooler. Even if it means you panic sometimes." Serena laughed softly. "Thanks, Lily. I guess I can work with that. Maybe honesty isn't so terrifying after all. If they can handle me." For the first time, Serena realized that her siblings weren't enemies plotting against her. They were allies in a very chaotic, very human kind of way. And maybe, just maybe, failing a little isn't the end of the world. And with that small revelation, Serena picked up her pencil, ready to face algebra again. This time, armed with honesty, humor, and a little sibling support. Monday morning arrived like a tidal wave. Serena walked into school with a mix of dread and determination, her backpack heavy with textbooks and her heart heavy with anticipation. She had decided, finally, to stop hiding. No more pretending. If I fail, I fail. At least I'll be honest about it. Her first class was English, a subject she actually enjoyed. But even here, the shadow of her previous misadventures loomed. Please don't let today be a disaster. Please don't let my thoughts escape like last week. Mrs. Pearson, the literature teacher, greeted the class with her usual enthusiasm. Today, we'll analyze poetry. Who can share their interpretation of Ode to a Nightingale? Serena raised her hand tentatively. I think, maybe the poem talks about, Her mind screamed. I have no clue what it's about. Are we talking about birds or feelings? Or both? Someone please save me. And of course, her inner thoughts rang out in her usual unintentional broadcast fashion. I literally have no idea what this poem means. Is it about a bird? Is it about dying? What is happening? The class went silent. A few students giggled. Mrs. Pearson blinked, clearly unsure if she had heard correctly. Serena's face burned. I mean, it could symbolize freedom, she stammered. Freedom? My freedom from sanity, maybe. From the back of the classroom, her friend Mia raised an eyebrow. Wait, you don't know either? She whispered. Clearly not, Serena muttered under her breath, hoping it sounded quiet enough. Quiet. You said it loud enough to scare a cat. After class, Serena found herself cornered by a group of classmates. So, you're not the genius we thought you were? One asked, curiosity and amusement mixing in their tone. Serena exhaled sharply. No. I'm not. I've been pretending for months, maybe years. I panicked when I didn't understand something. I memorized stuff I didn't really know, and yes, I've been freaking out inside my head the entire time. This is either going to ruin my social life or make me famous for honesty. The group stared at her for a moment. Then, surprisingly, they started laughing. Wow, Mia said, smirking. Finally. Someone brave enough to admit it. I kinda like you even more now. Yeah, another student added. It's refreshing, honestly. Serena blinked. Refreshing. Refreshing. I came out of hiding, and people like me anyway? This is insane. But not everyone reacted kindly. Later, a rival student sneered. So the perfect Serena is just a fraud? Figures. Serena raised her chin. Call me a fraud if you want. I'll take honesty over fake perfection any day. Honestly, it feels good to say it out loud. Maybe too good. By the end of the day, news of Serena's confession had spread through the school. Some teachers were amused, some students were impressed, and a few rivals were irritated. Back at home, Serena recounted the day to her parents and siblings, who listened, rapt and entertained. See, Max said, grinning. Being honest makes life more fun. And now everyone knows you're human. Her mother nodded. It takes courage to admit your struggles. I'm proud of you, Serena. Proud? Me? I'm still panicking over algebra and poetry. But proud? That's new. Her father smiled. And remember, honesty doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong. You'll still learn, and this time for real. Serena smiled, feeling a mixture of relief and excitement. Maybe this is the start of something better. No more pretending. No more panic. Well, maybe still a little panic, but at least it's real. And for the first time in a long time, she didn't feel trapped by her own perfectionist lies. The next morning, Serena sat at her desk with a renewed sense of purpose. No more pretending. No more panicked scribbles that barely made sense. Today, she would tackle algebra honestly. One step at a time. Step 1. Breathe. Step 2. Maybe don't cry. Step 3. Attempt to understand something before panicking. Her notebook lay open, equations staring back like tiny monsters. She picked up her pencil, determined. You can do this. Even if X is plotting against you. She started slowly, rewriting the quadratic formula. This time, she paused to actually think about each term. She scribbled notes in the margins: A equals coefficient, B equals coefficient, C equals constant. Okay, so far so human. Not dead yet. Progress. By lunchtime, she had solved 3 equations correctly. Not perfectly, but correctly. She even checked her work twice. Is this learning? Am I actually learning? Her phone buzzed. It was Mia. Lunch? You look alive. Did you survive algebra? Serena smiled. Barely. But yes, alive and slightly smarter. When she returned to class, she noticed that the whispering had mostly stopped. Her peers seemed curious but respectful, and a few even gave her thumbs-ups as she walked by. Wait. They're not laughing at me? Progress. This honesty thing might work. Mrs. Langley assigned another set of problems, and this time Serena tackled them methodically. When she didn't know an answer, she raised her hand. I'm not sure, Mrs. Langley. Could you explain this step again? She said, voice steady. Did I just ask for help? I might actually be growing up. Mrs. Langley nodded with a small smile. Of course, Serena. That's how you learn. By the end of the day, Serena's confidence had grown slightly. Not enough to eliminate panic entirely, but enough to keep it manageable. Back home, the family noticed the change immediately. Max peeked at her homework. You're actually solving it? Yes, Serena said proudly. And without yelling in my head. Mostly. Mostly yelling. Some mild screaming. But progress counts. Her mother clapped. See? Being honest doesn't mean you can't succeed. You just need to work for it. Her father nodded. Exactly. Knowledge is better when you truly understand it, not when you just memorize it. Even Lily chimed in. Can I help you with fractions again later? Maybe we can study together. Serena laughed softly. I'd like that. Maybe learning honestly is kind of fun. And maybe panicking can be occasional background noise instead of a full-blown crisis. Over the next week, Serena's routine shifted. She asked questions in class, studied with friends, and even started helping Max and Lily with their homework. Sometimes even explaining things correctly. Explaining? I can do this? Maybe I am smarter than I thought. Or maybe I'm just pretending. No, actual progress. One afternoon, as she sat reviewing her notes, she realized something. Her inner voice had changed. I may not know everything, I may panic sometimes, but I am learning. And that's enough. It was a small victory, but it felt monumental. Serena had stepped off the tightrope of pretending and found solid ground beneath her feet. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to try. And for the first time in months, her anxiety felt manageable. Not eliminated, not silent, but real, human, and conquerable. By the following week, Serena felt a shift in the household atmosphere. Her family no longer viewed her as the untouchable perfect student or the panicked pretender. Instead, they were beginning to see her as genuinely trying, and that earned her a kind of respect she had never known. Respect. From my family. For being honest. Who even am I anymore? She walked into the kitchen with her notebook in hand. Mom, I finished my algebra homework. And I actually think I got most of it right. Her mother glanced at the pages, brow raised, and then smiled warmly. Serena, this is excellent. You're really putting in the effort. Excellent? This is the same person who panicked over a simple quadratic a few days ago. Miracles do happen. Max, as usual, had a mischievous glint in his eyes. You did it, huh? So, are you still going to pretend to be a genius, or is that over now? Serena grinned. Over. I'm done pretending. I'm learning honestly, and if that means failing sometimes, then so be it. Although, let's be honest. I'd rather not fail. Her little sister Lily clapped her hands. Can I see your notes? Maybe I can learn something too. Serena handed them over, and for the first time, she felt a twinge of pride. She wasn't just doing it for herself anymore. She was helping her siblings as well. At school, her classmates had begun noticing the change as well. Mia caught her in the hallway. Hey, Serena, you've really improved. I saw you answering questions in algebra without panicking. Serena shrugged modestly. I'm trying. I mean, I still panic sometimes, but... Still panic sometimes. AKA. Full disclosure of my internal chaos. Still panicking? Mia laughed. Honestly, that makes you more relatable. I'd rather have a real person in class than a robotic genius who never struggles. Even some of her former rivals seemed to soften. During lunch, one of them, Kevin, approached her cautiously. Look, I guess I misjudged you. It's impressive that you're actually learning the material now instead of just pretending. Impressive? Or terrifying? Hard to tell with Kevin. Back home that evening, Serena recounted her day to her parents, brimming with excitement. Her father nodded approvingly. I'm proud of you, Serena. Honesty takes courage, and you're showing plenty of it. Her mother smiled. And you're proving that it's okay to not know everything. That's a lesson in itself. Even Max, who usually had the sharpest tongue, gave a small nod. Yeah. I guess you're not just pretending anymore. Good job, genius. Good job, genius? That's the weirdest compliment I've ever gotten, and I kind of love it. That night, Serena reflected on how far she had come. She wasn't perfect. She still struggled, she still panicked, and she still occasionally muttered inner thoughts she wished no one could hear. But I'm learning. Really learning. And they're noticing. That feels amazing. Her notebook, once a source of panic and shame, now represented progress, honesty, and effort. It was a small thing, but to Serena, it was monumental. Step by step, equation by equation. I'm actually getting somewhere. Maybe being honest is better than being perfect. For the first time in months, Serena went to bed with a sense of calm. Her family trusted her classmates respected her growth, and she had discovered that vulnerability didn't equate to weakness. It could lead to strength, humor, and even a little admiration. And tomorrow? Well, tomorrow I tackle geometry. But tonight I can breathe. The following week felt almost surreal to Serena. She walked into school carrying her notebook not as a burden, but as a badge of effort. Her previous panic had been replaced, if not with complete confidence, at least with a determined resolve. Today, I tackle geometry. Not with fear, but with honest attempt. Let's do this. Mrs. Patel, her geometry teacher, called the class to attention. Today, we'll discuss angles and proofs. Remember, show your reasoning, even if you're unsure. That's how we learn. Serena's heart skipped a beat. Showing her reasoning. The very thing she used to avoid. Expose my thought process? Oh no. Wait. I've been honest lately. Maybe I can actually do this. When Mrs. Patel asked for volunteers to solve a proof on the board, Serena's hand shot up. Murmurs ran through the classroom. Serena volunteering? That was new. Yes. This is my moment. Maybe. Hopefully. Please don't trip on the way up there. She walked to the board, chalk in hand, and began writing. Step by step, she explained her logic aloud, thinking carefully, pausing when she needed to double-check. I might actually understand this. Or at least, I'm pretending so convincingly that no one will notice. The classroom fell silent. Even the rival students who had previously mocked her seemed to watch in genuine curiosity. Very good, Serena, Mrs. Patel said, smiling. Your reasoning is clear, and you arrived at the correct conclusion. Excellent work. Serena blinked. Really? Really? I did it. I survived a proof, and I didn't cry, panic, or say something ridiculous. I won. Her friends clapped from their seats. Mia whispered, See? I knew you could do it when you stopped pretending. By the end of the day, Serena's confidence was soaring. Even the tricky homework assignments she had previously dreaded now seemed manageable. I can do this. I'm learning honestly, and it's working. Who knew honesty could be this powerful? At home, her family noticed the change immediately. Max peeked at her homework again. Whoa! You actually got most of these right. And you didn't scream? Serena laughed. Mostly didn't scream. Mostly. Her mother ruffled her hair. You're proving that effort and honesty matter more than pretending to be perfect. Her father nodded. Exactly. Progress is more important than perfection, Serena. And you're showing both courage and determination. Even Lily added, and you're actually fun to study with now. You explain stuff without panicking. Fun to study with? Me. I'll take it. That evening, Serena sat alone in her room, reviewing her notes. She realized she had solved almost all of her geometry homework correctly, and understood the concepts well enough to teach them if she had to. This feels amazing. I never thought I'd actually enjoy learning. Maybe being honest is the secret ingredient. For the first time, Serena wasn't afraid of failure. She knew she would stumble, and she knew she might panic occasionally, but she had also discovered that mistakes weren't shameful. They were part of learning. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to try. And look at me. I'm actually thriving. Her inner voice, once chaotic and panicked, now cheered her on with a quiet, sarcastic encouragement. Keep going, genius. Who knew being human could be so rewarding? Serena smiled to herself. Yes, being human was rewarding. Messy, panicked, and hilarious as it could be, it was real. And for the first time, she felt proud of herself. Not for appearances, not for perfection, but for her genuine effort. A few months later, Serena walked through the school halls with a sense of ease she hadn't felt in years. Her reputation as the perfect student had been replaced with a new one. The honest, hardworking, sometimes panicking, but always genuine Serena. Not perfect. Not flawless. Just me. And somehow, that feels better. Her classmates waved, some teasing, some admiring, and even her former rivals had grown to respect her for facing her struggles head-on. Mia sidled up to her. You know, Mia said, smirking, I kind of miss the panic sometimes. It made things entertaining. Serena laughed. Entertaining for you, maybe. Stressful for me. Although, a little chaos never hurts. At home, the atmosphere had transformed as well. Her parents no longer measured her by grades alone but praised her effort, honesty, and determination. Max and Lily still teased her relentlessly, but it was playful now, full of admiration rather than mockery. One evening, Serena found herself helping Max with his homework. Thanks, Serena, he said. You actually explain stuff in a way I understand. I'm actually good at this. And I didn't panic. Miracles exist. Her mother peeked in, smiling. See, Serena? Learning honestly has its rewards. You're helping your siblings, keeping your sanity, and even improving your grades. Her father nodded. And most importantly, you're being yourself. That's more valuable than any perfect score. Even Serena's inner voice had changed. Where once it had screamed in panic at every math problem or classroom question, it now offered commentary tinged with humor and encouragement. You got this. Maybe panic a little, but keep going. Human genius in progress. Serena smiled, closing her notebook. She realized she had grown, not just academically, but personally. Honesty had allowed her to connect with her family, build genuine friendships, and learn the value of effort over appearances. Perfect? Overrated? Authentic? Absolutely. That night, as she prepared for bed, Serena reflected on her journey. She had exposed her fears, embraced her imperfections, and learned to laugh at herself along the way. I still don't know everything. I still panic sometimes. But I'm learning, honestly. And that's enough. She climbed into bed, feeling lighter than ever before. Outside, the world continued with its challenges and pressures, but Serena no longer feared them. She was armed with honesty, resilience, and a healthy dose of humor. Tomorrow, geometry awaits. Algebra is looming. Life is challenging. But I am ready. And for the first time, she fell asleep without the weight of pretense on her shoulders. Being human is exhausting, chaotic, hilarious, and totally worth it. With that, Serena embraced her authentic self fully, knowing that honesty, messy, imperfect, and real, was far more powerful than any facade of perfection. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more original novel stories. And stay tuned, our next story is coming soon.